Okay, well, we're going to shoot figure 6 now, and it's the final one that I'm going to show you on the Birdcage armchair. It's a pretty simple operation, and you know, some of these other ones are fairly complicated, and it's obvious why I had them up there. Most people could figure this one out or some way of doing it, but I just put it up there, I guess, because I had a space, and it's a nice little trick for doing it that you might not think of. So, but I'm also going to show you a little bit more than that, because there's a little bit more to that arm and reaming of that arm support hole in the arm. So I'm going to back up prior to this and show you how I get to this point, and then I'll show you how to do that. So we'll go to the workbench. Okay, so one of the first things I'll do is just show you how I get the length of this arm right here. And you know, first off, you would want to check your height. Then I like a 1/2 inch drop from there and there. So if you look at the plans, this shows, I think, 7 7/16, and this shows 7 15/16. So yeah, that's a 1/2 inch, isn't it? Anyway, so you got a 1/2 inch drop right there. Kind of tricky to measure that. I do it. You could use lots of things. I do it using this bevel balls here. So there, you could just set it up like that. You could use a ruler or whatever. But out here is the tricky part. And so I support it with this aluminum, and you have to add a 1/16 to it because it's sitting up on top of that. And then you just slide it over right like that to get that vertical measurement. And now that's to the center. That's to the center. And so then I get my center mark. That enables me to get a mark to the top of the, where's a pencil down here? That enables me to get a mark to the top of the arm. The arm's 3/4 thick, so that'd be 3/8 up above that. And then I can put a mark at 3/8 up above this point. Now, it'd be nice to get the center of this post in relationship to that. And when I try to guess it, I'm too far around it this way. So if I take this aluminum stick here, I'll do it this way so you can see what I'm doing. And then I can just rub it on that, and the oxidation will mark it, or you can put some pencil lead on it, some graphite on it, and mark it. So at that point, I have the top line of the arm and the center of it, and there's the top of the arm. And now it's simple. I can just measure just right like that and add the tenon to it and lay it out on a board right there. So my original measurement was from the shoulder to the center of the hole that I drilled there, and then just add the tenon to it, and then you have this extra part of the arm there. And on the arm pattern, you'll see there's a center line to put it on the lathe, and there is a siding line to drill this hole right here. So first off, you'll need you can turn this tenon really at any time. I like to super dry it and then turn it. And you're leaving this end on it to be able to turn it, and you don't cut this off until after you've turned it on the lathe, or you'll end up with the lathe center in the front of your handhold. And then it's just off center turning. You can see there's that much over here on this side. Just keep your hand away from that while it's turned around on the lathe. But that's running right up the center and connecting the center of the arm support with the center of the tenon, and that's what you need. Okay. So when I bore this hole for the arm support tenon right there, I'll just set this out of the way real quick. It's very cut and dry, and you of course can figure that out. And I'm not going to do it because it's so simple, but I just clamp it down on a backing board and set up my T-bevel square right here, and then just bore it right like that. Okay, starting along that line, and I believe I've got it at 27 degrees. Now that's all fairly straightforward, and I'm sure that most or all of you could have figured all that out yourself. But here comes the trickiest part, and that is tapering this mortise to fit this arm support tenon into, and making sure you get this angle right and this tilt right. So I like the handholds tilted out a bit. I'm not sure how much. I just kind of look at it, but it's probably tilted out 1/8 to 3/16 of an inch, I guess. So the way that I do that is the very first thing, and whatever reamer you've got will work. This is just really slim, and I like it. So so all I want is just to get a little bit of purchase on this first. Okay, there I go. So right here, turn this around to where, yeah, got it oriented right. So you might be able to see my marks here, and I've got the same 3 marks over here: the top of the handhold, the middle of the handhold, and the bottom of it. And I can look and see where I am and how I'm running over here, and that's running pretty good. I've got about 3/16 of an inch between the bottom of the hand and what will eventually be the top of the hand, of the arm. And then here I've got about the same thing. So I don't want to mess with this part. Now, this part is kind of tricky here, because I can't stick it in the hole. I don't even have a hole yet. I could drill it, but I can't put it in there till I get this tapered. Well, once you get it tapered, it's too late. So, I'll show you. Let's get this other one started. Okay, just a little bit more. Okay. Okay, now I've turned it to where you can see what I'm wanting you to see, which is the front of the arms here. So this is the one I did first, and it's fine. This is the one that I've just got started, and it's looking really good too, front to back. So both of them are fine with the front to back tilt. Now the side to side tilt, what I do is this right here. So I put a straight edge on it, and I can see that I've got a little gap on the inside, and I've got a little gap on the inside. Now what I'm wanting is for this to lay perfectly flat across the handholds at this point. Now I told you it had a tilt to it, but if you see, the tenons are hitting on the inside of the post. As the tenons swing out, in other words, they need to go another, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch or so. And as they swing out to get to that mortise, that arm tilts. And if these are perfectly flat across through here at this point, then once they get into their mortise, I end up with just the exact right tilt that I want. So works out pretty good. So they're, right now, they both could tilt out just a little bit, but I don't want to overdo it because it wasn't much. It wasn't much at all. So one thing I always do is mark it underneath. If it needs to tilt out a little bit, it means I have to cut it on this side. So I go over here and put a mark, because when I flip it upside down, I'm liable to cut it the wrong way. So I'll just kind of cut just a little bit there. And I'll put it back into place. And I have to come around this way to look and see. Okay, so it looks like it now needs to drop a little bit towards the back. So I'll file that back in my brain. And I will bring this one a little bit more. Now, of course, you want these to be about the same point on the arm support, so when you lay it across it, you're seeing what's really going on. And it looks like that one's just a little bit lower over there. So I'll look at the front to back on that one. That's running, that maybe should come up. And then if we look at that, we see that I didn't move it at all. So I certainly didn't overdo it. But all I've got is about a 32nd showing right here and about a 16th showing right here. So it's not bad. Okay, so I'll look at this one. I want the back to drop. Where's my pencil? So I want to cut it on the back side, and I want to cut it on this far side over here. Of course, the problem is you got to nail it right when you get to the height that you're wanting. About in the middle. Okay, not bad. This one needs to come up and tilt out just a little bit. So you want to take your time with this so you get it right. This one's worth slowing down on. Okay, so now that's in the middle and that's in the middle, so I'm running really good front to back on that. This one's in the middle, a little high. That one's a little high, so I'm running pretty good on that. And that's looking pretty good, although I have a little bit too large of a gap over here on this side right now. And so I might want to bring it, kind of overdid that one. Okay. So you can see I don't have far to go now, about 3/8 of an inch. So I want to kind of maintain what I've got, but fix it. Close. This one, I don't want to mess with this one at all. take it down. Okay, so let's see what I have. On this one over here, I'm about an 1/8 inch shy of getting to my mark. And I'm about an 1/8 over here. So the front, the back looks good. Here, I'm about 3/16, and I'm about a 1/16 here. So I need to come up again. Well, or come up, I was taking it back. That means I'm kind of overdoing it. Now let's see what we have here. Okay, they both got little small gaps on the outside, but those gaps are even. So I like that. Even though I go for flat, it's all just made up anyway. And a little bit more tilt's perfectly fine, especially when it's only just very slight, less than a 1/16 on both of them. So my last little bit, I'm going to just try to pick this tenon up just a bit. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, I'm sitting right on it, and I am just a little bit below back here. So I'll have to employ a little bit of chiropractor, just kind of pull it up just a little bit right like that, and it'll go, you know. So it can handle a little bit of it. Here. Okay, I'm on it there, and I'm splitting it there, so I'm perfect front to back there. And, okay, well, I blew it in the end. Well, I wouldn't say I blew it, but I had them matched just right, and now this one is perfectly flat, and this one's got a little gap on it over here. Not what I was shooting for, it's what I ended up, and it'll look good. It's kind of like your face, both sides are not the same. Okay, well, that's the way I do that. Now what I'm ready to do is to do what figure 6 shows, which is to bore that. Hey, so we're going to drill this hole right here, right now, this mortise. And so one thing we need to know is the height of the center. So I can kind of estimate the center of the arm support there and set my dividers for the center. And then, so I've got a couple of things here. One of them is just this. This is the way I used to do it. I just take a piece and turn the taper on it and bore a hole at something close to the angle there, as you can see, or bore the hole and cut it to where it lays in the top of it, and it would sit right in there. The only problem is it's not adjustable, and since these holes are tapered differently from side to side and chairs and all that, it might not be, I mean, that one happens to nail it right there. It's just a coincidence. So I'd end up putting a little shim on here, some tape or whatever to take it out or whatever. But what happens is your drill bit can go right in there. It goes right like that, and you drill the hole. Now, you can also use any drill bit of work. I like to use a bit brace and an auger most of the time, but my extension doesn't fit through that hole, so I just go ahead and use the cordless drill here. Now, somebody who was in the shop saw that I needed a little better gizmo, so, well, that's set right on it too. I believe that was luck. So this is adjustable thumb screw, and this will slide up and down. But if you're just doing one chair or even just a couple, I don't know if I'd take the time to make such a thing. But if you're going to make a set, maybe you might want to. So now, there it is all ready. Get that lined up like that. And right in there. Well, that wasn't what I wanted to do, was it? Okay. So, pretty hard to miss, as you see. And let's see. Let me get that started and then see where that tape is. That looks like I don't think I want to go that deep. Looks pretty deep to me. Yeah, that's an inch. Don't believe I want to go an inch. Anyway, I'll just get close to it then. Not the sharpest bit in my box. Okay. Let's see what I've got. Oh yeah, that'll work fine. Took that 7/8 deep, and so that gives me a little bit of leeway there. So that's really all I wanted to show you right there. Let's see how this fits. Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, okay. So now I can saw this off and clean this up and bevel this over and put the groove in that, and I think I'm ready to glue the whole chair up. But I'm not going to show you that because this is all I want to show you. So I believe that's all.